wanted to show this picture done by Christine Dennett Cassara for me. This is a different ship that I saw as a child. It's worthy mentioning this one because it's different than any ship I had been on before that I can remember, as in it has windows, as you can see. Most of these ships are organic in nature, sentient, and do not have windows. But this one did, so I wanted to know why. And I come to find out this is actually a time ship. All right, this is a time ship filled with historians from our future. And when you see these windows, actually what they are is more like a holographic projector recorders. They're recording, and they can also view as they do it. This is another ship that was drawn for me. This ship was probably about, I'd say, a little over 200 meters in diameter. All right, it had what's called a directional emitter on the top there, and it was like being tuned in like a radio station. All right, it also is used to release a type of anti-gravity field that surrounds the skin of the ship before they go in. There are also some gyros on here, as you see, look like metal balls, okay, and actually there's entry points not far from there. What's interesting about this ship is this ship at the end of my experience started morphing. It started morphing into what looked like a group of quasi-crystals. Now, it was very hard to explain that in experience or to witness it, but that is what happened. So the biological aspects of these craft must be acknowledged. We spoke about a couple of different outsides of ships. Now let's talk about some engines. This is an engine I've seen, all right? This is when it's deactivated, all right? What is noteworthy about this engine is that these quasi-crystals emitted a type of bioluminescence from the inside out, or chemical luminescence, all right? And they were about 9 feet tall by about 3 feet wide. This engine was large. When it was activated, the crystals start spinning. There's a very deep hum that almost sounds like I think a bull roar is what it's called, like the Doggone tribe elder swings once a year at that ceremony. It makes a very deep bass sound. This is when it is actually in activation. When it starts up, these crystals start spinning extremely fast, all right, as the humming goes. Now, when I was witnessing this, I was told by my guide that this engine is not just, the hum I was hearing was not just capable of healing astral bodies, but it was capable of healing human flesh. So this is an organic healing device. They also told me it didn't just power Legion ships, it can power small planetoids. Just remember, there was bioluminescence inside of these crystals, so they were glowing. Not something that Earth crystals do. This is another engine. I saw this one when I was much younger. This consists of a gyrosphere down here, as you can see, and a thing in the middle, the ball in the middle, that sometimes looks silver at first, so I suspected it was liquid mercury, but it wasn't till it turned gold. All right, and they termed this energy angelic golden liquid energy. It's some type of prana, all right, and it generates a light, comes off this gyrosphere, all right, which is moving. The light comes up, illustrating here are decks. These are decks, 3 decks. This was a very large structure. I was standing down here, but I could see the light projecting upwards in this polarized column, and there were people up there in their astral form, all right, kind of almost translucent, touching the living light. I have had some of these people come into my third dimensional world now that I have met, that I saw on this ship doing this. At the top of this, you'll notice a large black box. As far as the contact experience goes, many have experienced black boxes. This one is similar, called to inertial damper, is what they referred it to as me, and it's used to release the anti-gravity field around the ship. So that's the black box, the gyrosphere, the decks. This is an engine of a very large ship where I've seen other experiencers. We've discussed the ships, both the internal and external of various craft. Let's talk a little bit about the external, all right, and what they're actually composed of. All right, first of all, these craft are sentient, a lot of them, all right? meaning that they're sentient, they have a symbiotic relationship with the crew, as some of them are also composed of DNA from the crew. So what we have is several different aspects. For the metal part of these ships, we have also what is a quasi-crystal compound that is mined on planets that are devoid of Van Allen belts and sometimes atmospheres. Such planets, the metals on those planets are bombarded by a rate of solar radiation and cosmic rays unknown here on Earth. That makes their durability completely different. All right. After this is combined, a lot of times is what I would say it's similar to a mushroom spore. You notice how mushrooms are actually shaped on the top if you remove the stalk from them. They look very similar, and what they also look like on the inside, the tunnels that are in mushrooms. All right. These are then grown. These combination of quasi-compound is then grown in deep space over a micro wormhole, over a black hole. That is why part of the engine itself is built around a black hole. And when someone touches the living light off one of these, like even similar to this engine here, when someone touches this light, they have said often it seems like it turns into a wormhole. That is why. That is a part of the engine and how it is grown over this in deep space. All right? So I want to just emphasize the organic nature of many of these craft. All right? And how it's not just all metal. It's a lot of organic compounds. Why there are no windows, I've mentioned some of those things. But mostly what they're capable of, the healing component. The engines themselves are capable of healing. That living light, they're running on life energy, prana, chi, orgone energy, whatever you might want to call it. But that part of this experience, for those of us that are dealing with higher beings, I think is being omitted far too much. The biological, organic factor of these craft. So I just want to put that out. Maybe it will spur some memories for some. Maybe some it won't, but either way, it's for the information for you to research yourself. Result of several interviews I did that describe some things that are some experiences I've been having my whole life. Some of them are rather paranormal, some of them are metaphysical. There are a lot of young people that are having similar experiences now. It's always been happening, but I think that it's not really acknowledged. You've got people that are similar to me. When I was a child, I could remember things from a past life. I could use telepathy. I could read people's thoughts to a certain degree. I knew certain things. Science came very easy for me. Everything I read, I could seem to really absorb it. Except for math, I wasn't very good at that. But these are things that would cause me to not really always be socially that outgoing when I was, especially in high school. It caused to really hide who I was. I didn't want anyone to know that I could read what they were saying. Then I started learning things. I used my intelligence to not just use the telepathy that was catching off people. I couldn't read everybody's mind fully, but the things on the surface come through quite clear. So these are things that you've got a lot of young people right now that are coming from a vibration that can do this. I'm not alone now, but I think that needs to be acknowledged. I'm hearing them called star seeds, crystal children, indigo children. Well, actually, I was one of those individuals. I was born very awake. And when I say that, past life memories and things like that, visions, I used to have that, and I was very aware. I also started having what most people will term extraterrestrial contact at a very young age. All right. Things like when I was younger, certain playmates coming around that would seem to leave when the adults came to supervise, and waking up in the middle of the night, not in my home or in some type of a school, things like that. Also seeing some crafts. And as I got older, that wound up becoming even more dominant as I started requesting different type of contact. So in that way, I would say I've never been abducted, but I have been, I'm an experiencer, definitely, and most of my contacts have been positive. So in that way, I kind of, understanding of those that have been abducted and experimented on, I think that's a real phenomenon right now. I've talked to so many people, but I'm not one of them. Most of my experiences were positive. I wanted to really engage the experiencers, the contactees that are watching these videos. There's a lot of more people watching them than I ever imagined. All right, this is concerning the experience itself when we're first either taken or make contact, all right? Often there is a light that comes and takes people on board the craft. That's happened to me a couple of times. Or sometimes crafts can materialize around the experiencer or teleport them without their knowledge. But I'm speaking right now to the individuals that have been taken by a light. Normally it's anti-gravity light that will float you in. What color was the light that took you on board one of these crafts? And I'm speaking to real experiencers right now that have had true contact, physical contact mostly. What type of light took you on board? I've seen two types of light, but I'm wanting to engage anyone looking at these. Please comment and let me know what color the light was that took you. And the reason why I'm curious about this is I'm communicating with so many people now, that so many different experiencers of all colors, that I'm seeing some differences definitely, okay? Between melanin dominant experiencers like myself and sometimes Caucasian experiencers, I'm seeing a difference. And I'm hearing a lot about a certain type of light that has taken individuals on board craft that involves disinfection of nanotechnology, of dark technology, as well as certain viruses I think we carry in our atmosphere. Anyway, please comment. Please let me know what color the light is that took you on board. And I want to kind of just do a consensus and see if one of the things, like for example, those of us that did not experience the disinfected light, as it's described by Corey Good and I think maybe Simon Parks and some other people that have described it. Nonetheless, I find that interesting. I want to try to get a database going that is concerning this. Thank you very much for listening. Please comment, let me know. I'll try to comment back. I'll just do a tally of kind of the lights that's been seen. I'm convinced we have about 70% of our population that has had either contact or some type of paranormal experience, whether that be telepathy, seeing ghosts, extraterrestrial contact, or anything that goes against the mold of perception that we're put into after we're born. Immediately after our birth, we start getting, our perception gets molded and certain things are filtered out. All right? I'm convinced that about 70% of our population has had some type of contact and is not relaying it even to their loved ones. This is a disconnect. It is a way that people are being kept asleep, definitely. So right now, you may know someone in your life that has had contact and is not discussing it with you. So be aware that this disconnect also comes with things that are known as autosuggestion, hypnotic suggestion, and a way to keep us asleep and seeing things what it is. But I'm seeing the dimensions appear to be merging. Right now, we have a lot of people with elevated consciousness, pineal glands that are open enough to see these beings or seeing how things aren't the way they appear to be. They're getting past this disconnect, all right? So be aware of the disconnect, stay aware, stay awake, and believe in yourself. That are never exposed like black extraterrestrials, black contact, not just in my culture, but in our culture in general. It's not talked about very much. Like I have found out now since, I thought that maybe most melanin dominant experiencers have never been abducted and that the Greys only experimented on Caucasian people. I found out, because I hadn't had experiences like that, I found out I was wrong. I was wrong. I've had a number of black experiencers come forward to me now and say they've been experienced on or experimented on the vibration, and maybe that's what's changing here. There's young people incarnating right now that are aware. Normal people our age are waking up. You know what I mean? And things are changing, not accepting this concocted world we're living in. One of my experiences with missing time, one of the things they had told me is they showed me a certain type of device, and one of these beings, a throne being, was in it, and its head is blowing up with these light, I don't want to call them tentacles, filaments, light filaments. Thank you. They're saying to me, you don't understand, you don't remember how powerful the warp fields of your thoughts are. The warp fields of your thoughts affect reality.